Joining me now from Tucson, Arizona, Vice President of the National Border Patrol Council, Art Del Cueto. Art, we just heard from Mark Morgan the overall situation at the border. The numbers are improving. He says we are still in crisis mode, and if you look at the numbers, I agree with him. We're still looking at numbers that are historic, even though they're dropping. So what's the situation in the Tucson sector right now? Are you able to get a similar read?
Well, it's hard to get a real good read here in Tucson, and I'll tell you why. The problem that we've faced here for forever, pretty much, is that individuals that are crossing in the Tucson sector, which happens to be the largest sector in the country, they're not turning themselves in. So it's good to get these numbers and say, hey, the numbers are going down, but I think that reflects the individuals that are turning themselves in to Border Patrol agents. That's what it reflects. We do not know, and there is no actual way to find out how many individuals are not being detained, not being arrested. And like I said, the problem in Tucson sector is they're not turning themselves in. They're still trying to avoid apprehension, and that's a big.
Okay, so Art, we can assume then, or maybe you can quantify this, that if they're not turning themselves in, are they not necessarily then from Central America, Guatemala, El Salvador, and the other countries that maybe they're from Mexico, and they're trying to just simply breach our border to come into our country?
Well, no, because it's shown that the individuals that we are arresting, they're from all over the world, right?
All right. And
we're still getting a lot from Central America. This is the funny thing, Graham. So these individuals crossing in Arizona are crossing with camouflage clothing, with carpet shoes, so you're not able to detect where their footprints are. And then when you do arrest them, they say, well, hold on, I want to claim credible fear. Well, then why did you attempt not to be detained in the? I mean, it just doesn't make any sense.
Right. What? Just for clarification, because I don't know. I mean, I know we've used this term before, but carpet shoes, is that what it sounds like?
Yes, it's actually pieces of carpet that they'll wrap around their shoe. They'll tie it around their ankle, and that way, when they're walking through the desert, they don't leave so much of a footprint. And when they do leave some type of footprint, it looks older. But more often than not, it just doesn't leave much of a footprint because the carpet, it just leaves the mark of the carpet. And that's what we've been seeing here for the longest time. As I said, this is the largest sector. The numbers that have gone down, they have gone down because of President Trump and what he has done. What's disappointing is, hey, we need to call to the carpet, no pun intended, our own leadership and what they have been doing. You know, just recently we had the chief of the Border Patrol here in the Tucson sector, the largest sector, as I've said several times during this interview, and she failed to reach out to the boots on the ground and even want to have a conversation with us on what's going down. And that's what's frustrating, I think. That's what frustrates the agents. The retention is still a big issue. They rolled out some type of retention bonus to be able to have more agents stay within the agency. And then just the other day, they said there's a delay in it after all. So, it's very frustrating when you look at our leadership and then you look at the president, because I know he's trying. We just wish that our leadership would be trying a little bit harder also.
Right. And your sector in particular, where you have all these people who are crossing and not walking up to agents, they're trying to infiltrate and get into our society, weave their way in. They are strictly illegal immigrants by any definition of a rational person, right? And so just down the road from you, not too far down the road in Yuma, they're putting up new barriers, new walls, new fencing, whatever you'd like to call it. And the president wanted to point this out because he knows that the message in many cases is not getting out, that new walling is being installed. Roll tape.
The media won't tell you this, but we're building the wall, and we're building it on an expedited basis. It's going up fast, and we're putting it where the Border Patrol most wants it. We'll have, by the end of next year, close to 500 miles of wall. We're taking money from all over because, as you know, the Democrats don't want us to build the wall. They're fighting us at every step.
And this is key, Art, that what the president just said is where you want it, where you need it, because you don't need it in all places along the border.
Right. No, and what it does is people need to understand what this also does. It's able to dictate the traffic and where they're going, and at the same time be able to put agents in those areas. Now, there's legalities obviously in the Tucson sector with the Tohono O'odham Reservation, which is a Native American reservation, where they just fight tooth and nail on having any type of barrier on their land. But putting barriers around there, we're able to dictate where the traffic is going, and hopefully leadership within our own agency can figure out a way to keep more agents and at the same time put them out there in areas where we can make the actual arrest.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One American News on YouTube, and call your cable provider and kindly demand that One American News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.